Welcome back to Arsenal News TV, and today we're going to first look at Folarin Balogun's brother explaining why Mikel Arteta is to blame for Arsenal's problems, and then we're going to look at Gabriel Martinelli's latest Arsenal snub explained amid talk of a surprise next transfer move. So the first transfer headline states that Folarin Balogun's brother explains why Mikel Arteta is to blame for Arsenal's problems. So the reports are stating that Folarin Balogun's brother has publicly slammed Arsenal manager Mikel Arteta's tactics. Folarin Balogun's brother has slammed Arsenal manager Mikel Arteta's tactics amid the striker's current struggle for game time. Folarin Balogun has played just 11 minutes since being hooked off in Arsenal's Premier League opening day 2-0 defeat at Brentford. With Alexandre Lacazette and Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang absent, Mikel Arteta called upon Folarin Balogun to start up front against the newly promoted side, but after limited service in a dismal team performance, the Spanish boss replaced Balogun with Bukayo Saka on the hour mark. In their 1-0 win over Norwich City on Saturday, Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang scored Arsenal's only goal in 4 Premier League games so far this season. Mikel Arteta has now come under fire by one of his players' relatives over the team's struggle to create chances for strikers. Balogun's brother recently appeared on the What the Footy podcast to discuss Arsenal and the striker's current situation. He was critical of Mikel Arteta's system and blamed the Gunners' lack of goals on how the attack is currently set up. He said, when you look at the striker problem in terms of chance created, it's not just Folarin. It was there when Martinelli was playing there, when Aubameyang was playing there. The system doesn't work. You can't blame one player for that. It's more than actual systematic thing. Whenever I talk to Folarin, I tell him to keep going, but the system just doesn't really work at the moment. Soon it will work, there will be movement, and you've got to be ready when it does. At the same time, there's nothing really you can do. You just have to support, keep on talking, and keep telling him to keep maintaining. Balogun was demoted back to the under-23s at the weekend and shone against Manchester United at the level. The 20-year-old scored Arsenal's opening 2 goals in a convincing 3-1 victory, sending a message of intent to Mikel Arteta in the process. With Aubameyang and Lacazette now back to full fitness, the prospect of regular game time is looking bleak for Folarin Balogun. Perhaps a loan move could be on the cards in January, especially if he keeps up his goal-scoring exploits at youth level. Mikel Arteta won't be pleased with his brother's recent comments though, as he looks to overturn Arsenal's fortunes in the coming weeks. So it looks like Folarin Balogun's brother explains why Mikel Arteta is to blame for Arsenal's problem, and this could be a hint that Folarin Balogun himself doesn't want Mikel Arteta as manager. We've seen what Folarin Balogun has stated in terms of getting his message revealed through his brother, and you got other youngsters such as the likes of Ainsley Maitland-Niles stating publicly what his feelings about Mikel Arteta. Other players that really don't know if they are on board with the likes of Mikel Arteta. There are talks that he runs a dictatorship there. It's what he says is what is believed, and that is something that the Arsenal players are not agreeing with. Some players do believe in Mikel Arteta. What he's shown on the outside, I think he does look like someone that is respectable, but we'll see what happens. So this actually takes us on to the second piece of transfer news, which states that Gabriel Martinelli's latest Arsenal snub explained amid talk of surprise next transfer move. So the reports are stating that Gabriel Martinelli has not featured for Arsenal in their last 2 Premier League games, and some fans think a decision regarding his future may be made in the next transfer window. Gabriel Martinelli was once again an unused substitute as Arsenal sealed their first Premier League win of the season at home to Norwich. The Brazilian started the Gunners' first 2 games of the campaign against Brentford and Chelsea before making a late substitute appearance in the 6-0 thrashing of West Brom in the Carabao Cup last month. However, following the return to fitness of Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang, Gabriel Martinelli's 2-game starting streak in the Premier League came to an end for the trip to Manchester City, and even when the Arsenal captain was withdrawn during the 5-0 loss at the Etihad Stadium, it was Alexandre Lacazette who manager Mikel Arteta turned to as his penultimate substitution. With that said, a reason for Gabriel Martinelli not getting any minutes against Manchester City can be put down to the fact that Mikel Arteta's options were somewhat limited following Granit Xhaka's first tough red card. It meant the Spaniard was forced to make a change earlier than expected, with Mohamed Elneny replacing Bukayo Saka at half-time to stiffen up the midfield. Meanwhile, the game was already lost by the time Ainsley Maitland-Niles was chosen as the Gunners' final sub. Fast forward a fortnight, and interestingly, the Gunners' number 15 inadvertently played a role in ensuring Martinelli wasn't Mikel Arteta's final substitution once again during the closing stages of the 1-0 win over the Canaries. As explained by a supporter on Reddit, Maitland now suffering a neck knock later on forced a change of plans. He stated he would have came on had Ainsley Maitland-Niles not pulled up and been replaced. He was warming up really intensely before that happened and they had to use Cedric instead. Whilst Gabriel Martinelli's latest sub has been explained, some other Arsenal fans remain concerned about how much game time the 20-year-old will get this season now that Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang, Alexandre Lacazette and Eddie Nketiah are all fit. Not to mention the competition he faces from Folarin Balogun for the centre-forward role and had to battle the likes of Bukayo Saka, Emile Smith-Rowe and Nicolas Pepe for a spot on the flanks. As a result, there's a theory that a loan spell would be best for Gabriel Martinelli's development. Some of you guys have stated that he is definitely a talent, but I haven't seen any progress from him in the couple of last seasons. Like others have said, he could use a loan. Another one of you guys have stated, yeah, becoming more and more in favour of him and going on loan, but that leaves us incredibly thin at striker. I mean, maybe not with Albert Laka, and I'm sure what the situation with Nketiah as well. Would love to see Gabby with a week in, week out role somewhere in the Championship. Also, another one of you guys, the final one of you guys has stated him and Balogun should be first candidates for a loan depending on where we are in January. Albert, Laka, Saka, Emile Smith-Rowe, Pepe and Nketiah are all ahead for attacking positions. So it looks like Gabriel Martinelli's latest Arsenal sub explains amid talk of a surprise next transfer move. And this is where I'm going to make a decision in terms of what Arsenal could do in terms of making these youngsters have an opportunity to play is changing the formation. Because I think if you're playing with a back four, I think we might be much better with a 4-4-2 formation because we could have players such as the likes of Lacazette and Aubameyang featuring with each other and allow the youngsters to replace them as well. But this is a decision for Arteta to make. So we will have to wait and see how Arsenal performs at the end of this season. If you want to see more daily videos from Arsenal News TV, make sure you click the subscribe button, hit the like button so I know if you enjoyed the video, and share the video to your Arsenal friends and family. Click one of the videos on the screen and I'll see you there.